Hello, it's week 9 of season 5 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is Opie's Fortune. Barney? Andy and I are reading the newspaper in the courthouse, and we come across the name Thady Gildert. And Andy starts bugging me about the fact that I used to date Thady before I started going out with Thelma Lou. But I don't want to talk about it. And then Opie comes in to say that he found a man's purse with $50 in it on his way home from school. And Andy takes it, and he says we're going to have to try to find out who it belongs to, but if nobody claims it within a week, then Opie can have it. And I say that's correct. If the rightful owner does not appear to claim said funds, owner is sane, keeps sane. And we agree that the deadline will be next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And after Opie leaves, Andy brings up Thady again. And that night I go over to Andy's house, and Opie's already looking at catalogs for things he can buy. And I helped him look, and Andy says, Opie, that money's not yours yet. And I say, it can't hurt to plan. And then we see Opie looking in all the stores in town for stuff he can buy, bicycles, fishing poles, stuff at the hobby shop. And then the night before the deadline is up, he's staying up late in bed, adding up figures and planning his purchases. And then at 3 o'clock that next Wednesday, nobody's claimed the money, so we give it to Opie. And I say the rightful owner didn't appear. Finders, keepers, losers, weeters. And Opie says that what if the owner shows up now? And Andy says, we'll probably never see him if we haven't by now. And then he convinces Opie to save $40 and to spend only $10. Then after Opie leaves, I read Andy an ad I just saw on the paper. Lost in the vicinity of Mayberry. A black leather change purse with $50 in it. If found, please contact Parnell Grigsby or FD1 Bannertown. And Andy says, we're going to have to give Mr. Rigsby his money back, even though he's not going to enjoy having to tell Opie. And then Opie comes back in, all excited about a fishing pole that he just saw. And I'm so drunk enough about what Andy's going to have to do that I had to leave the room and blow my nose. But Andy can't bring himself to tell him. And he tells me after Opie leaves that he's going to take the money out of his own savings to pay back Mr. Rigsby. And I think that's great. And I have to go blow my nose again. And later we see Opie alone in the courthouse and playing with his new fishing rod. And Mr. Rigsby comes in, the guy that lost the money, and asks Opie to tell the sheriff that he came by to see whether anyone turned in the $50 he lost. And he leaves before Opie can say anything. Yeah, Andy and I were gone because we were delivering the $50 from Andy's savings to Mrs. Rigsby. And then Mr. Rigsby drives up to say that he was just at the courthouse, and he left that message with Opie, but Opie didn't seem to know anything about it. And back at the car, I say, now, Andy, there's probably a very good reason why Opie didn't say he found the money. Maybe he didn't even hear what Mr. Rigsby was saying. Many's the time I don't even hear what you're saying to me. But Andy just tells me to get in the car. And Andy goes home and he finds the piggy bank busted open and the $40 gone. And then he finds Opie at the sporting goods store. And Andy takes him to the courthouse. And he starts griping at Opie about not only not telling Mr. Rigsby that he found his money, but then trying to spend even more of it. But then he finds out that Opie was in the sporting goods store only to return the fishing pole to get his $10 back. And he broke the piggy bank to get the rest back so that he could return the whole $50 to Mr. Rigsby. And Andy says that once again he didn't realize that Opie is really something. So later Andy buys Opie the fishing rod deck as a reward for what he did. And then after Opie leaves, Andy starts telling me some gossip he heard from Thady Gildert. And he won't tell me why he was with Thady. So I say, well, I'll tell you something. I wouldn't believe a word that Thady Gildert said anyway. What do you think of that? Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 10.